baseball fans. Welcome to the 2021 TBS Elite 25 Postseason Rankings powered by Baseball Youth. I'm Tabor Klingelsmith from Baseball Youth, joined by TBS President Rick Goff. We're pumped up to unveil our annual look at the best squads from around the nation and celebrate their incredible accomplishments from this past summer.
Thanks, Tabor. I'm excited to be back in the studio for our 17th straight year as we dive into our exclusive postseason rankings. It's also important to note that the 2022 TBS Nationals will be held at the Elizabethtown Sports Complex near Louisville, Kentucky, June 14th through the 19th. For years, the TBS Nationals has featured elite-level play in the 8U through 13U age divisions, and there's already 60 teams registered for next summer's event.
Rick mentioned the high level of play annually at the TBS Nationals, which is a perfect segue to review how this year's postseason rankings were determined. Rick, why don't you walk us through the framework of those rankings?
The TBS staff has reviewed performances in high-profile national tournaments, overall records against D1 major opponents, head-to-head results, along with layering in the all-important eye test, as well as perspectives and opinions of elite-level coaches from across the country to rank the top 25 clubs in the 9U, 10U, 11U, 12U, and 13U age divisions. We took these factors into account to arrive at our postseason top 25.
Again, this year we're also noting teams that finished on the bubble, and that's where we're going to start.
All right, here we go. The 10 teams from the 13U age division who ended up on the bubble in alphabetical order were 5-Star Grubs, Cincy Flames, Indiana Bulls White, KC Crusaders, Mission Gold, Stars Baseball, T24, Team Francisco Notorious 9, Traction Canes, Yallabusha Giants.
Okay, let's get right into our TBS Elite 25 postseason rankings powered by Baseball Youth for the 13U age division. Leading us off at number 25 is MVP Hustle from Norwalk, California. At 24 is Canes Southeast from Powder Springs, Georgia. Finishing the year at 23 from Las Vegas is the Las Vegas Rebels. Your number 22 team is Canes SC from Charleston, South Carolina. And at 21 from McKinney, Texas, it's Doolin's Dodgers Prime.
Moving on to number 20 from Yukon, Oklahoma, it's B45. 19 is the SBA Futures from Charlotte, North Carolina. Number 18 hails from Kingwood, Texas, it's Dynasty Black. On to 17 with the Mississippi Rippers from Flowood, Mississippi. And your 16th ranked squad in 13U is Team Elite from Winder, Georgia. Number 19 SBA Futures finished third at the TBS Nationals, notching wins against TBS ranked teams such as the Florida Dodger Scout Team, Cincy Flames, and Dynasty Black.
On to number 15, we have the Easley Baseball Club from Olive Branch, Mississippi. Number 14 calls West Monroe, Louisiana home. It's Knights Nation. At 13 from Castle Rock, Colorado, we have Colorado Recruits. 12th in our postseason rankings is the Brandon Blazers from Brandon, Florida. At 11, representing Michigan, we have the Motor City Hit Dogs.
Number 14, Knight Nation, battled all year long. The Louisiana State Champs won 4 events during the year. We've made it to our top 10 teams, and before we reveal the top 10 best 13-year-old teams in our postseason rankings, we'd like to introduce you to another athletic sports group event, the Youth Baseball Nationals, coming up in the summer of 2022 in Kentucky, Reno Tahoe, and Myrtle Beach.
Congrats again to the 10 on the bubble squads, as well as 25 through 11 in our 13U postseason rankings. Let's proceed to our top 10. At number 10, from Pembroke Pines, Florida, we have TBT National White. Number 9, from Katy, Texas, is 12. Moving along to number 8 with Florida Canes South from Margate, Florida. Your 7th-ranked team hails from Hull, Georgia, the East Cobb Astros. Just missing out on the top 5 and coming in at number 6 is Florida Dodger Scout team from Jacksonville, Florida.
The Florida Dodger Scout team crossed the 50-win threshold by winning the TBS Nationals in Kentucky and beating 4 TBS-ranked teams along the way.
Leading off our top 5 is the Canes Eason from Raleigh, North Carolina.
A stout 50-7 record propelled this team to a top 5 ranking this year. Lost a tough one to end their season to the number 1 team that will we release later in the show.
At number 4, out of Houston, Texas, we have ZT Elite Nava.
Had over 60 wins in the 2022 campaign, won multiple events this year, including a few playing up at the 14U level.
Into our top 3 and calling La Hebra home, we have ZT Prospects from California.
Got a late start to the season, but made a huge impact in the 13U world. Big wins against TBS number 912, number 4 ZT Nava, honorable mentions KC Crusaders, and a huge win over TBS number 1 team that we will get to shortly. On to our number 2 ranked team, Burn Atlantic out of Jacksonville, Florida. Finished the season by going 55-11, made the finals in 2 of their 3 final events of the year, was knocked out in the quarters of the 3rd one.
We've unveiled 10 bubble teams plus 25 through number 2 in our TBS Elite 25 postseason rankings powered by Baseball Youth. So all we have left is your number 1 squad, and your top-ranked 13U team calls Grapevine, Texas home. Our 2020 12U top team has repeated again this year. It's the Texas Canes Elite.
This team followed up a record-setting 2020 season with another championship-style season. They had 100 wins in 2020, but they only managed a meager 84 wins in 2021. They spent over 30 straight days on the road playing the best competition they could find. We caught up with Lally Escoval, the head coach, and asked him about his unbelievable year.
Oh, it's an honor, man. It's an honor to I applaud the parents and the kids, obviously, for going out there and, having the target on them every year and being a part of your ranking system is an honor. It's one of the most elite ranking systems in the country that I truly respect, that I think does a good job of getting the teams right. And I know it takes a lot of hours and time on your end to be able to do it fairly and get it right. So I appreciate the time that y'all spend on that. It's an adjustment because they're not going to be as successful. That 2-bouncer ground ball on turf at 12U is a ground ball to shortstop at 60-90. I mean, that's an out, and so you're right. The batting average just come down a little bit. You still got your guys that are going to be elite, but for the overall, I think it's more of an adjustment to me mentally was on the pitching side because they haven't had to have really a lot of pitchability at the 11 and 12U sometimes because the velocity is so high, you can get away with a lot of mistakes. Where at 13, when you're playing up at 14, those mistakes become singles and doubles. And I think it's adjustment for the pitchers more than probably the hitters. We go play the big tournaments and do what we do for that reason. I want that. But no, it was I think we got up to 128 games before we lost. And, when we did lose, it was like everybody kind of looking at everybody like, oh, did we just lose? Type of deal. So it was an adjustment for everybody, including me, because you kind of always feel like, oh, we're going to come back. We're going to come back. We're going to come back. And it always happened. And one time It didn't happen for on. So it was definitely an adjustment, I think. But you know what? As much as we all love to win and we all want to be winners and all that, you learn more from losses and learn more from where you're going to come back from those type of losses. I know they hurt and they're painful at moments for kids and for teams, but we learn more from that. Just as much as they have to learn to win, they got to learn how to lose and how to be a good teammate and how to be good, go over there and shake everybody's hand. I tell this to kids all the time. Everybody has to learn to lose. Everybody has to learn to bunt. Everybody has to learn to sit the bench at one time because there's going to be a time in everybody's life that we all lose and that we all sit the bench. I don't care how good we are. We're going to be a freshman on a varsity team or a freshman in college playing D1. Those moments are going to have to come, and you're going to have to learn to be a part of that and still be a good teammate and a good role model.
Great job to all 25 teams who are part of the 13U postseason rankings, and especially to Texas Canes Elite.
Congratulations to the 13U standout squads. TBS wants to wish all of you guys luck on the 13U teams moving forward into the 14-year-old age group in 2022.